proof of stake allows the Ethereum protocol to issue Ether yield. And as we started talking with this whole crypto section, we talked about Bitcoin as a non-sovereign money. It's a money that transcends nations, that transcends borders. And Ether, as this new similar sort of technology that transcends borders, offers a new protocol issued yield in Ether terms, in Ether denominations, that has no counterparty risk, right? Like the Ether is always solvent. Ethereum is always solvent because it can always issue new Ether, which is kind of a paradigm shift in where we can find yield in the world. Now we can find yield in crypto terms, in crypto native assets, internet native assets that have no nation state dependencies. And so I want to turn this question to Cathie. The cost of capital in the traditional world is really dependent on, the bond market. How risky are you going to get based off of the yields you can get in dollars on the bond market? But now that we've unlocked this new internet native risk-free rate with Ether staking, how do you think that's going to impact global yields and global investment appetite as Ethereum gets more and more adopted, if it does get more and more adopted over time?
Well, I think part of the heightened regulatory talk here in the United States and elsewhere, but it's really taken off in the last few months here, is because what you are talking about, the yield, has attracted so much interest that the banks themselves are beginning to feel it. I have been shocked. I listened to especially JP Morgan's call. It's a good kind of staple to understand what's going on in the banking industry. And, in a V-shaped recovery, Jamie Dimon was telling us that their loan growth would be negative through the end of this year. I said, what? And I began to think, could it be? Could what's going on in the Ethereum world already be impacting banks? Prices are determined at the margin. And so this could be really hurting the banks. And I think I'm going to take a very close look during the next few earnings seasons to see if we can dimension it. It doesn't seem like it is big enough yet, but I'm beginning to wonder, the search for yield, which again, the extremes, the bond market in the traditional world, I believe is in a bubble, certainly on the corporate credit side, which is where the risk is. And I can't help but believe that others believe the same and are searching elsewhere for yield, especially the hedge funds, I would say. So that's the first thing that comes to mind when you ask your question. And I'm beginning, and now you're going to have to rephrase your question if you want me to go any further.